Hello, everyone. Today we're going to dive into the world of Machiavelli, the Prince's Playbook. 10 Machiavellian Strategies for Power. Welcome, ambitious reader, to the world of Niccolò Machiavelli, the Florentine diplomat and political philosopher whose name has become synonymous with cunning, power, and a touch of ruthlessness. This book delves into the core principles outlined in his most famous work, Je the Prince, a controversial yet enduring guide for those seeking to acquire and maintain power. Introduction. Chapter 1. The Man Behind the Mask. Imagine a world where alliances shift like desert sands and where powerful families vie for control in a whirlwind of intrigue and bloodshed. This was the reality of Renaissance Italy, the crucible that forged Niccolò Machiavelli, the man whose name would forever be linked with power, cunning, and a touch of ruthlessness. Born in Florence in 1469, Machiavelli entered a city buzzing with artistic and intellectual brilliance. Yet, beneath the surface, lurked a constant struggle for dominance. The powerful Medici family held a precarious grip on Florence, fending off challenges from rival families and foreign powers. Machiavelli, steeped in the classics and philosophy, secured a position in the Florentine government in 1498. Here, he blossomed as a diplomat, traveling on missions to powerful courts and navigating the treacherous world of international politics. He witnessed firsthand the ruthless pragmatism employed by rulers, the broken promises, and the opportunistic use of force. These experiences shattered his idealistic view of politics, revealing a world far removed from the utopias envisioned by philosophers. As the Medici grip on Florence weakened, the city fell into chaos. Machiavelli, a staunch Republican, found himself imprisoned and tortured on suspicion of conspiracy. Though later released, the experience left an indelible mark. It was during this period of exile and disillusionment that Machiavelli penned his most famous work, Je the Prince. The Prince wasn't a treatise on the ideal ruler, a benevolent king dispensing justice. It was a stark, pragmatic guide for those who, like Machiavelli himself, craved a return to stability in a world gone mad. It wasn't a call for virtue, but rather a handbook for survival and the maintenance of power. Machiavelli drew upon his vast experience and observations to craft a set of principles that would become synonymous with his name. He believed that in the realpolitik world, ruled by self-interest and ambition, morality often took a back seat. Deception, ruthlessness, and calculated force were all tools a ruler could wield to secure their position. Was Machiavelli a cynical manipulator, advocating for a world devoid of morals? Perhaps not. He understood the inherent flaws in human nature, the allure of power, and the ease with which good intentions could pave the road to hell. His message wasn't one of pure cynicism, but rather a call for pragmatism. To survive and secure a stable state, a ruler needed to understand the dark realities of the political world and be prepared to act accordingly. This first chapter has peeled back the initial layer, revealing the man behind the mask. In the coming chapters, we'll delve deeper into Machiavellian strategies, dissecting his ideas on power, leadership, and the tools a ruler can wield to navigate the treacherous waters of politics. Chapter 2. The Nature of Power, a Game of Scarcity and Self-Interest. In the world envisioned by Machiavelli, power wasn't a bountiful harvest to be shared. It was a scarce and coveted resource, jealously guarded and fiercely contested. Understanding this fundamental principle, he argued, was crucial for any aspiring leader. Machiavelli held a dim view of human nature. Humans, he believed, were inherently self-interested creatures, driven by ambition and a desire for security. This self-interest, he argued in Je the Prince, manifested in two key ways: ambition and fear. The allure of ambition. Machiavelli saw ambition as a powerful engine, propelling individuals and states to strive for greater power and influence. He believed that leaders needed to understand and even tap into this ambition, channeling it towards achieving their goals. A ruler who ignored the ambitious desires of their subjects risked facing rebellion or stagnation. The grip of fear, in Machiavelli's view, was the flip side of ambition. Humans, he argued, were easily swayed by emotions, particularly fear. A leader who could inspire fear in their enemies and maintain a healthy level of respect, tinged with apprehension, among their subjects held a powerful tool. However, Machiavelli wasn't advocating for a reign of terror. He understood that excessive fear could breed resentment and ultimately lead to a leader's downfall. The key, he argued, was to wield fear strategically, using calculated displays of force or punishment to deter rebellion and maintain order. Navigating the emotional landscape. So, how could a leader navigate this landscape of self-interest and emotions? 1. Understanding human predictability. Machiavelli believed that, despite their self-interest, humans were also predictable creatures. They tended to follow established patterns, reacting similarly to situations that triggered their ambition or fear. Leaders who could anticipate these reactions held a distinct advantage. 2. Appealing to self-interest. Rather than fight against people's inherent desire for advancement and security, Machiavelli argued for aligning a ruler's goals with those of their subjects. By creating a system where ambition was rewarded and security guaranteed, a leader could build a more stable and loyal base. 3. Channeling fear effectively. Striking a balance with fear was crucial. Machiavelli advocated for calculated displays of force to deter enemies and maintain respect. However, excessive cruelty risked backfiring, alienating subjects and fostering rebellion. The power paradox. Machiavelli highlighted the paradoxical nature of power. While it was a scarce resource, it could also be self-perpetuating. A strong and secure ruler attracted more power, further solidifying their position. Conversely, a weak or indecisive leader would quickly see their power dwindle, leaving them vulnerable to attack. By understanding human nature and the interplay of ambition and fear, a leader could not only acquire power but also maintain it. However, wielding this power effectively demanded a certain degree of ruthlessness and a willingness to play by the often brutal rules of the realpolitik world. Chapter 3. The Prince versus the Republic, a lone wolf in a sea of lions. Machiavelli's The Prince stands out like a lone wolf amidst a pack of lions. While many political thinkers of the time championed the virtues of republics, Machiavelli dared to focus on a different beast, the single ruler, the prince. This chapter delves into the reasons behind this choice and explores the advantages Machiavelli saw in a strong central authority. The flawed republic, a breeding ground for instability. Machiavelli wasn't blind to the potential benefits of a republic. A system where power was distributed amongst a group of citizens could foster debate, check corruption, and represent the diverse interests of the populace. However, his experiences in Renaissance Italy, a period marked by political turmoil and factionalism, led him to believe that republics often fell prey to their own weaknesses. Decision paralysis. Republics, with their multiple voices and competing interests, could struggle to reach decisive action. This indecisiveness, Machiavelli argued, could leave a republic vulnerable in times of crisis. Factionalism and self-interest. Republics were not immune to the disease of self-interest. Powerful factions within a republic could prioritize their own agendas over the good of the state, leading to internal conflict and instability. The rise of the demagogue, a charismatic but ambitious individual, could exploit the inherent divisions within a republic, swaying public opinion and manipulating the system for their own gain. The prince, a beacon of stability in a stormy sea. In contrast to the perceived weaknesses of republics, Machiavelli saw several advantages in a strong central authority. Decisive leadership. A prince, free from the constraints of endless debate, could act swiftly and decisively when faced with threats or opportunities. This decisive action could mean the difference between survival and annihilation in a world rife with conflict. Unified vision and action. A prince could set a clear direction for the state, ensuring all resources were directed towards achieving shared goals. This unity of purpose, Machiavelli argued, could foster greater strength and stability. Controlling ambition. While ambition existed in both republics and principalities, a prince could potentially channel the ambition of their subjects towards the good of the state. By offering opportunities for advancement and recognition, a prince could create a more loyal and motivated citizenry. The prince wasn't a tyrant. It's important to note that Machiavelli didn't envision the prince as a tyrannical dictator. He believed in a ruler who, while maintaining a firm grip on power, also understood the need for the consent of the governed. A wise prince would seek to maintain public support through effective leadership, fair laws, and a sense of security. Was Machiavelli right? The debate on the merits of republics versus strong central authority continues to this day. Machiavelli's arguments for a prince offer a compelling perspective, particularly during turbulent times. However, the potential for abuse of power by a single ruler also presents a significant danger. In the coming chapters, we'll delve deeper into the specific strategies Machiavelli outlined for acquiring and maintaining power. We'll explore how a prince could maintain stability, navigate the treacherous world of politics, and, most importantly, secure the loyalty of their subjects. Chapter 4. The Art of Reputation. Lion and Fox, a Dance of Power. Imagine a leader who roars with the ferocity of a lion, striking fear into the hearts of enemies. Now, picture that same leader, cunning as a fox, weaving intricate webs of strategy and deception. This duality, according to Machiavelli, is the essence of effective leadership. He called it virtù, a combination of strength and cunning, the very foundation of his concept of the prince. The lion's roar, projecting strength and resolving. The lion, in Machiavelli's metaphor, represents the outward display of power. A leader needed to project an image of strength, courage, and decisiveness. This could be achieved through military prowess. Maintaining a strong and well-disciplined military was paramount. A prince who could inspire confidence in their ability to defend the state and crush rebellions commanded respect. Decisive action. In times of crisis, a leader needs to act swiftly and decisively. This decisiveness, even if bordering on ruthlessness, could prevent chaos and maintain order. Public displays of power. Carefully orchestrated ceremonies and displays of strength could serve as a reminder to both subjects and rivals of the prince's power and authority. The fox's guile. The art of deception and strategy. However, brute force alone wouldn't guarantee a prince's success. The fox, Machiavelli argued, represented the cunning and strategic side of leadership. This included understanding human nature. As discussed earlier, Machiavelli believed in understanding the self-interest and emotions that motivated people. A leader who could anticipate these reactions could manipulate them to their advantage. The art of deception. Machiavelli advocated for strategic use of deception. This could involve creating false appearances, spreading misinformation, or negotiating in bad faith. However, he cautioned against excessive deception, arguing that trust, once broken, was difficult to rebuild. Adaptability and flexibility. The political landscape was ever-changing, demanding a leader who could adapt their strategies. A fox-like leader was adept at reading situations, changing tactics on the fly, and exploiting unexpected opportunities. The dance of virtù, balancing lion and fox. The true art of leadership, according to Machiavelli, lay in mastering the dance between these two forces. A prince needed to be both strong and cunning, projecting an image of power while maneuvering skillfully behind the scenes. This balance was crucial for achieving success. Strength without cunning breeds arrogance. A leader who relied solely on strength risked becoming arrogant and out of touch. They might underestimate their enemies or fail to see the need for strategic maneuvering. Cunning without strength breeds contempt. A leader who relied solely on deception, without the backing of real power, would eventually be seen through. This could lead to a loss of respect and, ultimately, the erosion of their authority. The challenge of cultivating virtue. Mastering the art of virtù wasn't easy. It required a leader to be both courageous and cautious, decisive and adaptable, and ruthless and pragmatic. It meant walking a tightrope between projecting strength and resorting to deception. However, for those who could manage this delicate balance, the rewards were immense. A prince who embodied virtue could forge a strong and stable state, earning the respect of their subjects and striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. The next chapters delve deeper into the specific strategies employed by the Machiavellian prince. We'll explore how a leader can navigate the treacherous waters of politics using a combination of strength, cunning, and a healthy dose of pragmatism. Chapter 5. Fear versus Love, a tightrope walk of power. One of Machiavelli's most controversial pronouncements is his assertion that it's better to be feared than loved. This chapter delves into the reasoning behind this seemingly cold-hearted statement. We'll explore the dangers of unchecked love and trust, while also examining the limitations of fear and the importance of maintaining public support. The perils of unconditional love, a recipe for rebellion. Machiavelli believed that a ruler who relied solely on love and affection from their subjects was walking a dangerous tightrope. Here's why. The fickle nature of love. Love, in Machiavelli's view, was a fickle emotion. It could easily turn to resentment if a leader failed to meet the expectations of their subjects. A ruler who relied solely on love risked facing rebellion when those expectations weren't met. The difficulty of earning unconditional love, demanding unwavering loyalty from subjects, was unrealistic. People, by nature, prioritized their own interests. A leader who focuses solely on fostering love might neglect to address the practical needs and concerns of their subjects. The erosion of authority. A leader who constantly sought the approval of their subjects risked losing control. Respect and fear, Machiavelli argued, were more reliable tools for maintaining authority and ensuring obedience. Fear, a harsh reality, but a powerful tool. Fear, despite its harshness, was a more reliable motivator, according to Machiavelli. Here's why. The fear of punishment. People were naturally averse to pain and punishment. A leader who could inspire fear by enforcing laws and dealing swiftly with dissenters could deter rebellions and maintain order. Respect through fear. Fear could command a certain degree of respect. Subjects who feared their ruler's displeasure might be less likely to challenge their authority or disobey their commands. Predictability of fear. Machiavelli believed that fear, unlike love, was a more predictable emotion. A leader who understood how fear operated could manipulate it to their advantage. The delicate balance. Fear with a tinge of respect. However, Machiavelli wasn't advocating for a reign of terror. He understood that excessive fear could backfire, breeding resentment and fostering rebellion. The key was to strike a balance. Fear is a tool, not a weapon. Fear should be used strategically as a deterrent against disobedience rather than a constant state of oppression. Maintaining public support. A leader couldn't rely solely on fear. Public support, built through fair laws, economic prosperity, and a sense of security, was crucial for long-term stability. Respecting subjects, even while inspiring fear. Even a leader who inspires fear could maintain a degree of respect from their subjects. This could be achieved by demonstrating fairness, upholding justice, and occasionally showing mercy. Beyond the binary, a more nuanced view. It's important to note that some scholars argue that Machiavelli's fear versus love quote has been misinterpreted. They suggest that he advocated for a balance between inspiring respect through fear and cultivating a degree of trust among the people. The Machiavellian prince, a calculated ruler, not a monster. Whether you interpret it as a preference for fear or a call for a balance between fear and respect, one thing is clear. Machiavelli believed a leader needed to be calculated and pragmatic. They couldn't afford to be swayed by emotions like love or blinded by a desire for popularity. The goal was to ensure the stability and security of the state, even if it meant employing methods that might seem harsh or ruthless. The next chapters will delve deeper into the practical strategies a Machiavellian prince could employ to acquire and maintain power. We'll explore how to navigate the complex world of alliances, military force, and the delicate art of manipulating fortune. Chapter 6: The Prince and the Military, the Backbone of Power. In the world envisioned by Machiavelli, might often be right. A prince, he argued, needed a strong and dependable military to secure their position and navigate the treacherous landscape of international politics. This chapter explores the types of armies a prince could utilize, the importance of loyalty and discipline, and the strategic use of force to maintain power. The tools of war: choosing the right army. The ideal army, according to Machiavelli, would be a reflection of the prince's own virtues: strong, disciplined, and loyal. However, the practicalities of the situation often dictated the type of force a prince could build. Mercenary armies, a double-edged sword. Mercenaries, professional soldiers hired for their skills, offered flexibility and expertise. However, they could be expensive, disloyal, and prone to switching sides to the highest bidder. Citizen militias, a force of the people. Citizen militias, composed of the populace, could be a source of patriotism and loyalty. However, they often lacked professional training and experience, potentially hindering their effectiveness in battle. A standing army, the ideal but costly choice. A standing army, a permanent force of professional soldiers under the direct control of the prince, offered the greatest advantages: loyalty, discipline, and consistent training. However, maintaining a standing army could be a significant drain on the treasury. Loyalty and discipline, the pillars of military strength. Regardless of the type of army chosen, Machiavelli emphasized the importance of two key elements. Loyalty: a prince needed a military that was fiercely loyal, willing to fight and die for their ruler, not just for personal gain. This loyalty could be cultivated through fair pay, effective leadership, and a sense of shared purpose. Discipline: a well-disciplined army fought with coordination and followed orders without question. This discipline was achieved through rigorous training, clear command structures, and strict punishments for disobedience. The strategic use of force, not just for conquest. Military might wasn't just about conquering new territories, though Machiavelli acknowledged the importance of expansion for a growing state. Force could be used in various ways. Deterrence: a strong military deterred potential aggressors, preventing them from attacking a well-defended state. The mere presence of a skilled and well-equipped military could be enough to discourage conflict. Crushing rebellions: internal threats could be swiftly quelled with a disciplined military. This ensured domestic stability and prevented minor dissent from escalating into full-blown rebellion. Projecting power: military victories could enhance a prince's prestige and project a sense of power on the international stage. This could attract allies and discourage rivals from undermining the state's interests. Beyond brute force: the art of war. Machiavelli wasn't simply advocating for brute strength. He believed in a sophisticated approach to warfare, emphasizing strategic planning, intelligence gathering, and psychological tactics. A cunning prince could exploit the weaknesses of their enemies, outmaneuver them on the battlefield, and secure victory with minimal casualties and expense. The military, in Machiavelli's view, wasn't just a tool for conquest but a vital instrument for any prince seeking to secure their position, maintain order, and command respect on the world stage. The next chapter delves into another crucial factor in a prince's success: navigating the unpredictable currents of fortune. We'll explore how a leader can adapt their strategies, seize opportunities, and mitigate the impact of unforeseen events. Chapter 7: The Delicate Dance with Fortune, a Prince's Gambit. Life, Machiavelli argued, wasn't a neatly paved path. It was a treacherous dance with fortune, a capricious lady who could shower success one moment and hurl disaster the next. A wise prince wouldn't attempt to control fortune entirely, for that was a fool's errand. Instead, they needed to understand its nature and learn to navigate its unpredictable currents. The fickle mistress, understanding fortune's whims. Fortune, in Machiavelli's view, was a force to be reckoned with. It could elevate a prince to great heights or cast them into the abyss with seemingly random cruelty. But it wasn't entirely chaotic. Machiavelli saw patterns in fortune's movements. Opportunity and crisis. Two sides of the coin. Fortune presented both challenges and opportunities. A crisis could be a catalyst for reform or a chance to outmaneuver rivals. Conversely, a period of prosperity could breed complacency, leaving a prince vulnerable to future misfortune. Fortune favors the bold. While caution was important, a prince who was overly hesitant or risk-averse could miss out on opportunities presented by fortune. A bold leader, willing to seize the initiative at the right moment, could turn potential disaster into triumph. Adaptability, the prince's most valuable skill. The key to navigating fortune's whims, according to Machiavelli, was adaptability. A prince needed to be flexible in their strategies, able to adjust course based on changing circumstances. Reading the signs, a skilled prince could anticipate potential shifts in fortune. This involved gathering intelligence, assessing political and economic trends, and understanding the motivations of other powers. Preparation for the storm. While foresight couldn't guarantee success, it allowed a prince to prepare for potential crises. This could involve building reserves, maintaining a strong military, and fostering alliances that could provide support in times of need. Seizing the moment. When fortune presented an opportunity, a prince needed to be ready to act swiftly and decisively. This could involve launching a preemptive attack on a weakened enemy, seizing control of a strategic resource, or negotiating a favorable treaty during a time of crisis for another power. Virtue in action. Adapting with a strong core. However, adaptability didn't mean abandoning all principles. A prince who constantly shifted their approach could lose credibility and undermine their power. Here's where the concept of virtue, the combination of strength and cunning, played a crucial role. Maintaining a strong core. A prince needed to maintain a core set of principles, a foundation on which they could adapt their strategies. This could include values like justice, loyalty, and military preparedness. Adapting means, not ends. The goals of a prince, such as maintaining stability or expanding their territory, might remain constant. However, the methods used to achieve these goals could be adapted based on the vagaries of fortune. Fortune's favor. Not a guarantee, but a tool. A prince couldn't control fortune, but they could learn to dance with it. By understanding its nature, adapting their strategies, and seizing opportunities, a leader could increase their chances of success. While fortune might favor the bold, it also rewarded those who were prepared, adaptable, and grounded in a set of core principles. The next chapters delve deeper into specific methods a Machiavellian prince could employ to consolidate their power. We'll explore the use of deception, the delicate art of navigating alliances, and the importance of maintaining a positive public image. Chapter 8. Appearances can be deceptive, the prince and the art of illusion. In the Game of Thrones, truth was often the first casualty. Machiavelli, a keen observer of the political landscape, understood the power of deception. This chapter explores the various ways a prince could manipulate appearances, control information, and use deception to their advantage. However, we'll also examine the ethical considerations and potential pitfalls of such tactics. The mask of virtue, cultivating a favorable image. A prince couldn't simply lie their way to success. However, they could cultivate a favorable public image by projecting the right virtues. People admired certain qualities in their leaders: strength, courage, wisdom, and justice. A prince could project these virtues through public displays, carefully crafted speeches, and a reputation for fair rulings. Manufacturing consent. Public opinion mattered. A prince could use propaganda and careful manipulation of information to garner support for their policies and actions. Beyond appearances, the art of the lie. Deception wasn't limited to image management. Machiavelli discussed several ways to manipulate information and outright lie to achieve specific goals. The art of the half-truth. Sometimes, withholding certain information or presenting only a portion of the truth could be more effective than a blatant lie. This allowed a prince to maintain a veneer of honesty while still advancing their agenda. The broken promise. Machiavelli acknowledged the importance of keeping promises. However, he argued that in exceptional circumstances, breaking a promise could be justified if it secured a greater benefit for the state. Deception in war. Warfare was a realm where deception thrived. A prince could use false flags, disinformation campaigns, and staged maneuvers to outwit their enemies and gain a tactical advantage. The double-edged sword, the risks of deception. While deception could be a powerful tool, it wasn't without risks. Loss of trust. A prince who relied solely on lies would eventually lose the trust of their advisors, subjects, and allies. This could lead to isolation, rebellion, and ultimately, downfall. The backfire effect. Deception could backfire spectacularly. If a lie was exposed, it could damage a prince's credibility and make future attempts at manipulation ineffective. Moral dilemma. Machiavelli's advocacy for deception has been controversial. Many argue that it erodes the moral foundation of leadership and undermines the very trust needed for a stable society. The Machiavellian tightrope, balancing deception and trust. The key to using deception effectively lay in a delicate balance. A prince needed to be both cunning and credible. Deception as a tool, not a strategy. Lies and manipulation should be used sparingly and only as a last resort. Trustworthiness remained a crucial element of effective leadership. Knowing when to be honest. Honesty could be a powerful tool as well. A prince who was known for keeping their word could command greater respect and loyalty from allies and subjects. Maintaining a moral compass. While Machiavelli advocated for pragmatism, he didn't endorse complete moral bankruptcy. A prince who governs with utter disregard for ethical principles might achieve short-term success, but ultimately face the consequences of their actions. The prince in the gray area. Machiavelli's views on deception placed him firmly in the gray area of political philosophy. He argued that in the realpolitik world, a leader needed to be prepared to employ certain tactics that might be considered dishonest in other contexts. However, he also cautioned against excessive reliance on lies and manipulation, recognizing the importance of trust and moral leadership. The following chapters explore the final elements of a Machiavellian prince's arsenal: navigating alliances, maintaining a positive public image, and ensuring the long-term stability of their state. Chapter 9. Cruelty and Mercy. Dancing with the Whips and Feathers. A prince, according to Machiavelli, navigated a world of extremes. They needed to be both a lion and a fox, feared and cunning. This chapter delves into the delicate dance between cruelty and mercy, exploring when each serves the prince's ultimate goal, a stable and secure state. The iron fist, when cruelty is necessary. Machiavelli didn't shy away from the harsh realities of power. In certain situations, cruelty, the swift and decisive application of force, could be a necessary tool. Crushing rebellion. A rebellion, if left unchecked, could snowball into a full-blown threat to the prince's authority. A display of cruelty, such as a public punishment of ringleaders, could serve as a deterrent and prevent further dissent. Maintaining order. Fear of punishment could be a powerful incentive for maintaining order. A prince who established a reputation for swift and unyielding justice could discourage crime and ensure a sense of public safety. Consolidation of power, eliminating enemies, particularly those who pose a significant threat to the prince's position, could be a ruthless but effective way to consolidate power and prevent future challenges. The measured strike, cruelty with limits. However, Machiavelli wasn't advocating for indiscriminate brutality. Excessive cruelty could be counterproductive. Alienating the people, a reign of terror could breed resentment and rebellion. Subjects who lived in constant fear of punishment might be more likely to support a challenger to the prince's authority. Loss of legitimacy. A prince who relied solely on cruelty could lose their moral authority. Public support evaporated when a leader was seen as barbaric and unjust. The cycle of violence. Cruelty could beget more cruelty. Public executions and oppression could lead to revenge attacks and a downward spiral of violence. The prince as the benevolent shepherd, the power of mercy. While harshness could be necessary in certain situations, Machiavelli also recognized the importance of mercy. Winning hearts and minds. A prince who occasionally showed mercy, especially after a display of cruelty, could win the hearts and minds of their subjects. This could create a sense of loyalty and gratitude. Encouraging reform. Offering forgiveness to those who repented their wrongdoings could encourage reform and prevent future transgressions. Maintaining public image. A prince who balanced cruelty with mercy could maintain a more positive public image, appearing as a strong but just leader. The art of discernment. Knowing when to strike and when to spare. The true mark of a skilled prince lay in their ability to discern when to wield the whip and when to offer the feather. Understanding the situation. The prince needed to assess the threat, the potential consequences of their actions, and the public mood before deciding on a course of action. Proportionality of force. The punishment should be proportionate to the crime. Excessive cruelty for minor offenses undermined a prince's legitimacy. Public perception. The prince needed to consider how their actions would be perceived by the public. A display of mercy could be just as powerful as a display of cruelty. The Machiavellian prince, a pragmatist, not a sadist. While Machiavelli's views on cruelty have been misinterpreted as advocating for tyranny, his true message was one of pragmatism. A prince needed to be prepared to make difficult decisions, understanding that sometimes harshness was necessary to maintain order. However, excessive cruelty was not only morally reprehensible, but also politically counterproductive. The final chapter explores the crucial element of maintaining a positive public image. We'll discuss how a prince can cultivate the appearance of virtue and ensure the long-term stability of their state. Chapter 10. Legacy and Application. The Machiavellian in the Modern World. Niccolò Machiavelli's The Treatise stands as a controversial yet undeniably influential treatise on political power. Written in the early 16th century, the book offers a stark and often cynical perspective on statecraft. This chapter delves into the enduring relevance of the prince, its criticisms, and how its core principles can be applied with caution in the modern world. A product of its time, yet timeless themes. The Prince is undeniably a product of its time. Machiavelli's observations were shaped by the ruthless power struggles of Renaissance Italy. His focus on a strong, centralized leader contrasts with the democratic ideals that emerged later. However, the core themes explored in the book, strategy, power, and human nature, remain relevant even today. Leaders, both political and in other spheres, still grapple with questions of how to acquire and maintain power, navigate complex alliances, and project influence. The criticisms, immorality and cynicism. Machiavelli's work has attracted its fair share of criticism. Critics argue that his focus on pragmatism at the expense of morality undermines the very foundation of a just society. His advocacy for deception, cruelty, and manipulation raises ethical concerns about the nature of leadership. The Machiavellian legacy, a force in political thought. Despite the criticisms, Machiavelli's impact on political thought is undeniable. His work influenced thinkers from Thomas Hobbes to Jean-Jacques Rousseau, forcing them to grapple with the realities of power politics. Even today, the term Machiavellian is used to describe cunning and strategic leadership, a testament to the book's enduring influence. The Prince in the Modern World, applying the lessons with caution. While the brutal realities of Renaissance Italy are gone, the core principles of the Prince can be applied, with caution, in the modern world, particularly in the realms of business, leadership, and negotiation tactics. Understanding power dynamics. Machiavelli's emphasis on analyzing power dynamics remains crucial. In business, this involves understanding competitors, partners, and internal hierarchies. Strategic planning. Effective leadership requires strategic planning, just as a prince needs a military strategy. This involves setting clear goals, anticipating challenges, and developing contingency plans. Adaptability and flexibility. The world is constantly changing, and so too are strategies. Machiavelli's focus on adaptability is a valuable lesson for any leader in a dynamic environment. Communication and public image. In the modern world, leaders need to cultivate a positive public image. Machiavelli's insights into public perception remain relevant, even if the methods of managing it differ significantly from the Renaissance era. The Machiavellian for the modern leader, a guide, not a Bible. The Prince is not a manual for ruthless domination. It's a guide to navigating the often messy world of power and influence. Modern leaders, be they CEOs, politicians, or community organizers, can learn valuable lessons from Machiavelli. Understanding human nature, employing strategic thinking, and cultivating a strong sense of adaptability. However, these lessons should be applied ethically and with a recognition of the importance of morality and public trust. Conclusion. Machiavelli's The Prince remains a controversial yet thought-provoking examination of power. While the historical context has changed, the core themes of the book, strategy, human nature, and the complexities of leadership, continue to resonate. By understanding Machiavelli's ideas and applying them with caution and a strong moral compass, leaders can navigate the challenges of the modern world and achieve their goals with both effectiveness and integrity. We appreciate you joining us on this intellectual journey through Machiavelli's The Prince. Keep in mind that the purpose of a good debate is to share ideas, so please don't say we never taught you anything. Thanks again for joining us. Please give this episode a thumbs up and subscribe for more philosophical adventures in ebook form.